Andrew Haug here at SOUNDWAVE 2013 for AndrewHaug.com, Australia's only dedicated 24/7 rock metal radio station. I do have the privilege of sitting in front of Mr. Josh Rand, sporting a Flotsam and Jetsam t-shirt. Awesome. And welcome to AndrewHaug.com. How you doing?
Thanks, man.
Of course, good. Welcome back to Australia. I know Stone Sour is certainly very fond of this country. And I guess just talk a little bit about how the new material from House of Gold and Bones Part 1 has sort of been going down in the set, and even the reaction since the album's release, because Part 2 is not far off, which we'll get to.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going great. I mean, when we've been doing our own shows, obviously, in the festivals that we don't get to put on a full show, but we've been doing like 6 new songs, actually 7, counting the new single off of Part 2. So it's been going over really well. It fits well with the previous material, and we're excited to be playing all the new stuff.
Now with the band, like I said, the members, it's a very an eclectic bunch of people. I know it's still steeped in heavy music, which is great, but again, it's hard to put as everyone's trying to do these days with everything, label something or genreify it. And writing, of course, House of Gold and Bones Part 1 and 2, did you guys plan to have such a writer's overload of material? Because now it's a double album practically. Right. Did it just flow and then you just didn't stop the flood?
Yeah, I mean, it just flowed. And like you said, all of us contribute musically. And all of us are influenced by different stuff, and we just all come together to try to make each individual song the best that it can be. It's not like somebody brings something in and it's like, it doesn't fit in this or that. We're all about making every song the best that it can possibly be. And it all came around this short story, basically, with Corey. Corey brought in the short story. Everybody had a ton of material that they had written, and that's what I think makes us so different than everybody else, because we all have one common goal, and that's to make stuff the best that it possibly can be, regardless if it's heavy or slow or whatever. We got very experimental also on this record, especially with Part 2, where it seems more thematic, and it's got different instrumentation and sounds that we've never went into that world before. So,
did you find that the band, after the number of years and releasing albums, that it was sort of alluding that way that...
Well, yeah, I mean, I think to a degree, I feel like once we decided that we were going to do a concept, there was almost a safety net, if that makes any sense, with the fact that it was going to be a concept where we've maybe a little bit more freedom to bring certain stuff in that might not have been brought in otherwise. But, like you said, that's what makes us ourselves, is everybody respects one another as writers, and it made for what I think is definitely the best records that we've done up to this point of our career.
Now, of course, you've got a touring bass player, Mr. Johnny Chow, but you work with Rachel Bolan, who was, of course, from Skid Row fame, on the record in the studio. How did it come about working with him? Is he a possibility of maybe being a permanent member somewhere down the track?
Yeah. That will probably not happen. I mean, we actually asked Rachel to join us for the tour cycle for this, but he obviously has obligations with Skid Row, and they were working on a record. And how it all came about is we were sitting around at Corey's in January of last year, and we were trying to figure out who was going to play bass, and all that kept getting mentioned was more of a style than an individual. And like how everybody was describing like how they wanted the bass, I just was sitting there and I was like, "What do you think if we got Rachel Bolan?"
Did everyone just go,
"Yeah, well,
who?" Or
I'll be honest, I didn't know at the time. I didn't know how it would go over, because I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, he's the right guy. There's not a doubt in my mind, because we wanted this aggressive type of sound.
So had you been friends with him previously, or you just been a fan of his music and his style that it always it stuck in your head? Like some players, you just go, this guy is, awesome or underrated, or,
Well, he's definitely underrated, and we'll get to that in a second. For me, I'm a huge fan of Slave to the Grind, and even Subhuman Race. It's a very heavy record. And I knew that he had written or wrote most of that stuff. And so, and you listen to their stuff and really focus on the bass line, and he does a lot of walking, and there's a lot of movement going on, and it's not just... The biggest thing is we didn't want somebody to play exactly what the guitars were going to play, and that would add a different flavor. So, it just made sense, and we were fortunate enough that he was like, I can do it, but I got to take one little break because we got some Skid Row shows to do. But overall, he still ended up doing it like in 6 days. He did all 23 songs, and it was pretty insane. He just came in and nailed it. I mean, total pro, unbelievable.
Yep. So at the moment, the bass sort of job is just a bit of a question mark that you're just going to deal with down the track.
Well, right now, we got Johnny doing the touring side of things, and to be quite honest, we're not in no big rush to really ultimately fill Sean's shoes. This is a person that had been with Corey and myself for 25 years. So, it's just, we're just seeing how it is. We knew Johnny because we had toured with Systematic back in the day, and we felt that, he would be a great fit for the band at this point. And we'll see what happens moving forward.
Big question. What sucks about the music business today, or even at least the heavy music scene? What do you think is missing, in your opinion?
Almost a danger aspect of things to me. At least growing up, there's no band like as much like Guns N' Roses, for instance. I'll go back to their heyday. There was like a danger, an energy, an attitude that I feel like is just completely missing from me, or even Metallica, those type of bands. There's no younger bands like that, I feel. Like, there's nobody where I'm just like it's hard to explain.
You find there's more just emulation and hero worship as opposed to its own edge and danger for itself.
There's nobody that's just like, here we are, fuck you, this is what we do, kiss our ass. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like, to me, I haven't seen a younger band in the last 5 to 10 years that takes the stage and I go, that's a band. Those are rock stars. Instead, it's like, honestly, I can't tell who's a guitar tech and who's the guitar player. I mean,
all right. Well, thanks for your time, Josh. We can get you to choose your favorite track from any of the Stone Sour records, and even a couple last words to the fans.
I'll do Last of the Real for a track, and I just want to thank everybody that has come out and supported us over the course of our career, and looking forward to see you all, it looks like, in the fall.